I'm Christopher Washington, Senior Associate Engagement Manager at Fahlgren Mortine, an integrated communications company based in Columbus, Ohio.
I'm Jenny Paluski, a Senior Vice President at French West Vaughan. We're the largest independently owned PR agency in the Southeast, based in Raleigh, North Carolina.
I'm Heidi Otway, President of Salter Mitchell Public Relations, a full-service agency based in Florida's capital city.
I'm Linda Jones, an Associate Creative Director for DH, a public relations agency based in Spokane, Washington.
I am Melanie Flowers, an account coordinator at French West Vaughan.
I'm Mike Reddy, and I am the Director of Advocacy at Marketing for Change, a behavior change marketing and communications agency based in Washington, D.C.
I'm Jasmine Alvinson, an account executive at DH.
I am Julia Callahan, an office manager and media buyer with Beerman Miller Fitzgerald, a public relations agency based in New Orleans, Louisiana.
I am Roger Nias, the CEO of Nias Communications, a public relations firm based in Seattle.
I'm Nico Diocampo, a marketing associate at Marketing for Change.
I'm Ruben Escobedo, an account executive at DH.
I'm Mark Berger, a partner at Nias Communications.
If I could describe PR in one word, it would be influential,
Clarifying,
Purposeful,
Creative,
Transformative,
Connection.
It would be vibrant because we tell stories that make a difference in our communities.
because we help good causes win.
Because we inspire people to take action.
because in this industry, we are the architects of the stories that connect people and resources to one another.
Because our work goes below the surface, tackling complex problems, exploring new ways to connect with people, and making a positive impact in our community.
PR practitioners build important dialogue between organizations and the public.
We are strategic thinkers.
We are mission driven.
we are storytellers.
That is why I love PR.
That's why I love PR.
That is why I love PR.
Our agency is a part of IPREX, the Global Communications Network.
We
are
IPREX.
Hi, I'm Heidi Otway, the President of Salter Mitchell Public Relations. My agency is a member of the IPREX Global Communications Network, which connects PR agencies around the world to new ideas, best practices, and expertise. As a result, my agency and other IPREX members have global reach and connections. IPREX is governed by a global board and committees that ensure that members in the network remain focused on collaborating, learning, marketing, and networking. This webinar checks all 4 boxes and is brought to you by the IPREX Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee, which is made up of dedicated practitioners from member agencies across the U.S. We created this webinar to accomplish 2 things. Number 1, highlight how IPREX partner agencies are working to build and sustain a welcoming culture where diversity, equity, and inclusion are practiced, celebrated, and measured. And number 2, show you the rewarding career you can have in the public relations industry. As you heard in the introduction, IPREX partner agencies are made up of strategic thinkers, storytellers, and brand builders. We thrive, and our clients thrive, when creativity, energy, and fresh ideas come together. For this field to continually evolve, it's critical that diverse voices and perspectives are included in all conversations and strategies.
Hi, everybody. I'm David Rudd, Vice President and Senior Counselor with Rudd Resources, an IPREX agency. Rudd Resources is a communications and public affairs agency based in Chicago that helps clients tell equity-centered stories. We offer a range of services to a range of clients. Please learn more about us at ruddresources.net. Range. That's a great word to describe what it's like to work in a public relations agency or in public relations in general. A typical week in public relations will cover a range of topics, a range of clients, and it will call on you to use a range of skills. You could be a specialist, focusing only on travel PR, event management, or crisis communications, for instance, but you will still need to call on a variety of skills, personal interests, and contacts. In short, if you like variety, then you will be interested in public relations. There's so much to say about this challenging and exciting profession, but let me give you just a little bit to chew on in this short presentation. First, let me tell you what public relations is. Oftentimes, an individual or a company will want to get word out about what they're doing, and they'll want to tell their story by talking to traditional media relations, reporters, journalists of all kinds, or social media. And so they'll come to a public relations person or agency to help them do that. Or they may need help protecting their reputation. And that's also where we come in, to help them think through the issues that are involved from a communication standpoint about how they tell their side of a story, for instance. Those are the key reasons that people will come to a public relations agency or person, is to tell their story and to protect their reputation. So let me give you a little sample of what you do. Public relations examples of what you do include public affairs, crisis communications, executive communications, and then there's also marketing and advertising. So how do you do those things? Well, you do those things through providing strategy, creativity, and storytelling. Let's talk first about public affairs. Public affairs professionals work to maintain relationships between the government and the public. The same basic public relations skills apply when working in government relations, like writing news releases, creating media kits, planning special events, etc. You may have seen one very popular public relations person, Jen Psaki, who's President Biden's press secretary. Public affairs professionals work with the people who are charged with enacting or implementing policies, be they politicians, legislators, community organizers, or committee members. For example, Jen Psaki. Another thing that you might do in public relations is crisis communications. A PR crisis is when any negative event or review related to your business gains traction in the public sphere or in the court of public opinion. A crisis communications plan can outline company core principles and help minimize the chaos and loss of trust due to a crisis. And then there's executive communication. This is what we do when we help the executives of a company, the leaders of a nonprofit organization, the leaders of a community-based organization tell their story not only to internal or employee audiences, but also to external audiences. Most times, the person trusted the most within an organization is a manager. So everybody's manager is trusted the most. And that's why executive communications is a very important part of public relations. One of the key things that an executive can do is build trust in his or her organization. And that's why executive communications is very important. And we talk about the 4 C's of executive communications: comfort, connection, context, and content. Marketing and public relations are basically in the same family. Public relations is how you get your word out through other people. Marketing is focused on promoting a specific product or campaign. PR is focused on maintaining a positive reputation for a company, but they are very much related, as you can see there. Marketing is you saying to the world, hey, I'm really cool. Buy my brand, listen to my argument about something. Whereas public relations is, trust me, David is really cool. It's when you get other people to buy into your message or into your reputation and they tell the story for you. Very big difference. Advertising is yet another discipline, but it's all in the same family. The basic difference between them is that advertising space is paid, while public relations results are earned, or you had to earn your way into someone's trust. You had to sell a story to a reporter, to a journalist, to have them believe that what you have to say is important to tell their readers or their listeners or their viewers. That's the big difference between advertising and public relations. So those are the things that you do. Now, how do you go about doing them in public relations? Well, probably the first thing that you do is provide strategy. Having a public relations strategy organizes PR activities around the best way to communicate to a specific audience. And those strategic plans usually include 8 components. What's the situation? What's your objective? Who's your audience? What strategies do you need to use? What will your tactics be? What's your timeline or calendar? Of course, what's your budget and how will you measure and evaluate? Those are the key elements of putting together a PR strategy. And along the way, clients depend on you to provide the expertise and smarts to help them figure out questions that they need answers to, or to help them figure out the next path to take as they grow their business or protect their reputation. Another key way that we go about doing public relations is through creativity. A huge part of public relations is developing new and fresh concepts for clients. Being creative in public relations means that you can solve problems, communicate ideas, and add new perspectives and tell stories. That's what creativity is all about. One of our favorite things to do at a public relations agency is to get together and brainstorm and hear from everybody. Everyone has a good idea, and that's how creativity and that's how innovation comes about from everybody in that room. And then finally, storytelling. What we do in public relations in a good way is tell stories on behalf of our clients. And that builds a deeper and stronger connection with an audience because you're adding a human element to the content that you have to tell. People like to hear stories. Just think back to when you were a child and someone read your bedtime story, or Halloween when you were hearing scary stories, or maybe you were in church and you listened to stories that were told through the Bible. Those are all ways to drive home a point through simply storytelling. And that's one of the best parts about being in public relations, is to really capture people's hearts through stories. And additionally, stories give a voice to the voiceless. And like I said earlier, I'm very interested in equity-centered work, and that means really allowing people who you may not hear from all the time because they've not had someone to tell their stories, allowing them to do that. And so telling stories and giving voice to the voiceless is a very important part of PR. Now, that's just a little bit of what we do in public relations. Like I said, it's very exciting. It has a lot of range. If you like to spin a lot of plates at one time, then you really should consider public relations. So I hope that you learn more through IPREX and about IPREX, and good luck in entering the field of public relations. Take care.
An agency provides an opportunity to dive headfirst into the different facets of public relations, no matter the industry or the sector you serve. And the best part is, there is never a dull day. The first type of agency is really what we call niche, where you'll focus on a specific industry or one specific scope of work. Contrary to popular movies and TV shows, PR is not all celebrities and entertainment. Yes, you might find yourself gravitating towards a business-to-consumer agency, including lifestyle, wellness, and fashion, but these industries that you see here, healthcare, nonprofit, government, finance, technology, all have their own public relations needs. They need creativity, inquisitiveness, and strategy behind campaigns that will generate visibility. Despite focusing on one specific industry, you'll find a wide scope of work at a niche agency. For media relations, you'll work with reporters and conduct media outreach. It takes time and a sharp mind to identify key reporters and nurture these important relationships. Social media and digital is where your creativity can run wild. There's strategy, of course, but for those of you who are visual, this is really where you get to explore and craft a vision that transcends all aspects of public relations. You'll get to expand your knowledge and play around with different styles and platforms. It also entails crunching some numbers. You'll devise a plan for engagement and follower growth, and you'll track statistics as to why certain posts are performing well and how those that are lagging can be improved. In public policy, you'll build relationships and connections with the community on issues like housing, equal rights, and healthcare, kitchen table issues that actually affect them. As with every job, but especially with public relations, it's important to stay on top of the news, including legislation and policy that will impact your clients and your constituents. And there'll always be some crossover with other industries. You'll engage with a wide range of vendors and suppliers, connections you should create and maintain in order to deliver the best possible result for your clients. Full service really says it all. A full service agency is going to give you the chance to grow your skill set and leave your comfort zone by taking on new projects for different clients. No 2 days will likely be the same. Many of the skills you'll need, you've already been honing throughout your college career. One of the most important skills is knowing how to write. Written communication is one of the primary ways we convey key messages and tell our clients' stories. Press releases, media advisories, pitches, proposals, even emails to your clients and colleagues are all written tools you will use in PR. You'll also likely handle social media campaigns and graphic design, the visual aspects, and the analytics. A solid community management strategy helps you build an engaged following and develop compelling content, including infographics, fact sheets, and data visualizations. Lastly, community relations is engaging with community organizers and leaders to understand the big picture and how the project you're working on impacts our daily lives. Community relations is helping your client identify key partnerships so you can tell their story and build connections with important community stakeholders. A common misconception is that you have only one role at an agency and you have to stick to it. This is simply not the case. There's many spots to fill within an agency and you'll most likely cross over at some point. Every role is integral to the success of an agency. For example, You can be a media strategist, but also help build social media content. You can manage an account and still need to write copy that resonates. Agencies provide incredible opportunities to learn, build your skills, and grow your career in PR and communications.
Now we're going to tie it all together and show you campaigns produced by IPREX member agencies and their teams.
I'm Bree Adderley with NIAS Communications, based in Seattle, Washington. In the fall of 2020, our firm partnered with Snohomish County, which is the county just north of Seattle, to develop and execute a wide-ranging economic resiliency and recovery plan to support local small businesses in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic. In this critical time, we knew that a campaign needed to bolster small businesses, which are the economic engine of Snohomish County, to ensure that they could weather this storm. The campaign needed to break through the holiday noise and stand out among other Shop Local campaigns. And beyond that, it needed some staying power and relevance well into the next year to reach a broad audience of residents and visitors, business owners, and workers. So our Support SNOCO campaign had several key components: business and stakeholder outreach, an interactive online hub to find out how to support small businesses, marketing and advertising, and an earned media and social media campaign focused on under-resourced communities. The fast-moving campaign earned positive press coverage across the greater Seattle region, and it connected with people on an emotional level through compelling short films and rich content. Now, given the tight timeline, our initial target was to feature 50 unique small businesses across our online hub. But in the end, our website featured 323 unique small businesses, 120 of which were women or BIPOC owned. This more than quadrupled the goal set by the county. An aggressive paid ad campaign earned nearly 40 million impressions, and a robust social media effort reached more than 16 million people. In terms of what it means to work in PR on a project like this, NIAS served as the central convener for all elements of this campaign. We built key connections with stakeholders to develop and deploy a robust plan. We helped our client, Snohomish County, partner with local small businesses to truly tell their story during one of the most challenging times. And we coordinated with outside vendors to execute all elements of this campaign.
Hi, I'm Heidi Otway, President and partner of Salter Mitchell Public Relations, a communication consultancy based in Florida. In 2020, after the murder of George Floyd, the Black Lives Matter movement surged globally, and there was renewed attention on racism, as well as diversity, equity, and inclusion in public and private sectors, including the sports industry. Our team helped 2 Florida-based organizations promote DE&I in the sport of surfing, which by all accounts lacks diversity and is mostly whites only. Enact, which makes towels out of hemp, and the nonprofit Surfer Negra created a Black Lives Matter tote bag to generate funds to send young girls of color to surf camps across the country. Our firm conducted public relations to get reporters to write about this partnership and their goal. Cause Marketing helped us get brand influencers to promote the $35 tote bag and the fundraiser on their social media pages. Over a 30-day period, our team captured the attention of reporters and influencers by sending them an online media kit with images of the tote bag, pictures and videos of Black women surfing, and information about the founders who forged this partnership. We also coordinated interviews for the founders to talk with reporters across the country. We knew we were doing something right when USA Today ran a national story, USA Surfing posted the bag on their social media pages, an article appeared in Oprah Magazine Online, and the founder of Surfer Negra was interviewed on The Drew Barrymore Show. After 30 days of heavy media and influencer outreach, our team generated 17 positive news stories about this effort to diversify the sport of surfing. More importantly, enough bags were sold to send 18 girls of color to surf camp.
My name is Paula Cunha, and I'm from Once Williams Communications here in Los Angeles, California. On November 18th, 2019, renowned Los Angeles artist and social justice advocate Ed Massey unveiled a 7-foot-tall sculpture of a homeless man he encountered years ago. The statue is entitled In the Image, located on one of the highest trafficked corners in Santa Monica, California, on Wilshire Boulevard and 26th Street. Homelessness in California and in America continues to grow, but nearly 20 years after the sculpture was created, actionable, proven, and successful remedies on a mass scale remain unrealized. Massey recruited OMSA Williams Communications to penetrate the Los Angeles media market pro bono. The long-term goal was to upend one of California's emblematic yet socially conservative cities to confront the reality that was taking place right outside its doors. The objectives for this initiative were to generate local media coverage to drive foot traffic to the piece's location, create and amplify public discourse for Massey's latest artwork and prepare the artist for imminent controversy, and establish a long-lasting community impact that would allow Massey to heighten his activism. It was crucial to identify key media targets that covered every sector of the population. For example, since Massey was a Spanish speaker, it was necessary to reach out to the large Hispanic media in Los Angeles. Massey could share his story in Spanish and tie it to the numbers. According to the Los Angeles Homeless Services Authority, Latinos make up 35% of the county's homeless population. The campaign generated 18 pieces of coverage and over 170 million earned media impressions, aided in changing the mindset of the local community, and set Massey up for his next community project, donating tents in homeless encampments.
Let's talk about how to be successful when applying and interviewing for jobs in PR. Here are some tips to put the scales in your favor by understanding the important details. Do study the job description for the job you are applying for. Do you know what they are looking for and which key skills and strengths make you the best candidate? The job description is your key to understanding this. Take a few keywords from the job description and add them to your resume so you will appear in their search efforts among the pool of applicants. Don't keep your resume and cover letter the same for every application. Now that you're an expert on what they are looking for, make sure your resume and cover letter shows them that you are the best one for this role. Try to be specific and use metrics to show your achievements. In the PR business, it's always important to be creative. Don't sell yourself short. While it's important for you to be yourself, it is not the time to be humble. In PR, you will be promoting your clients, so now is your chance to show that you can promote you. Be concise and be confident. Do provide writing and other samples according to the type of role. Be prepared to show your work and ask if you will need to provide writing or other creative samples. Send them immediately following the interview to show them that you are prompt and prepared. Do follow up. Ask your interviewer or recruiter when you should hear next steps about your application or your interview, and follow up if you don't hear from them. Be kind and show interest. Next, we're going to discuss the 5 B's to succeed in your PR interview. Be informed. Research the company. Prepare to ask and answer questions with purpose. Don't underestimate the power of social media. Use the company's social media, their website, and LinkedIn as a starting point. Request to schedule an informational interview with a current employee via LinkedIn. Be engaged. Make eye contact. Connect with your interviewer. Engage in the conversation, and again, be yourself. Show them the value that you will add to the agency and in front of clients. Don't just tell them what you will do. Be thorough. Provide thought pattern and your approach when sharing examples, and clarify the measurable benefits. Be curious. Ask questions that show that you have done your research and that you are invested in this opportunity. And be appreciative. Thank the interviewer for their time and for the opportunity. Send a thank you email within 24 hours of your interview, and be someone that they would want to work with.
Thank you for watching this webinar. We hope that you learned something new and have a desire to pursue a career in the public relations industry. We're here to assist, and we encourage you to visit the IPREX website at IPREX.com. There you'll see job opportunities available within our network of more than 100 agencies located in the U.S. and around the world.